interesting times. Today's stories. North Carolina inland cities feel the effects of Florence. A look back at Typhoon MANGKHUT battering Saipan and Guam. Edmonton's summer ends early with snowfall. The Philippine Consulate General in New York and the Filipino Veterans Recognition and Education Project honor Filipino World War II veterans. Plus, Sugar Rush 5K runners taste sweet victory. And Crankworks World Tour showcases extreme mountain biking skills. Hello everyone, I'm Alan BASALLAJE bringing you stories from around the globe, and this is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Hurricane Florence brought catastrophic flooding to the U.S. East Coast, with the Carolinas suffering most of its wrath. And although hundreds of miles away from the coast, inland cities in North Carolina were threatened by the devastation it left. Eliza Gonzalez-Manglitmot with the report.
Although Hurricane Florence didn't wreak havoc with one devastating blow like some were expecting, its impact here in North Carolina is no less a concern, as this slow-moving storm dumps large amounts of rain in the region, causing flooding and taking lives. According to the U.S. National Weather Service, Central Carolina counties such as Guilford, where we are at now, are under a flash flood watch with the potential of catastrophic and life-threatening flooding. Joining Eagle News today is Andrew King, a resident of Winston-Salem. Hello, Mr. King. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Andrew, what has the local government done to prepare the county with this threatening flooding caused by Florence?
I know according to the news, they had our governor, Governor Roy Cooper, instructing everyone to be on the safe side, to get the necessary things that is needed. And also even the locals of our cities giving the same instruction of getting the necessary things needed for the flooding, because there was speculating that we'll have a lot of power outage and stuff. So you should have the necessary things that is needed in case of such emergency.
What would be these necessary things?
Probably like get a lot of bottled water, flashlights, and a first aid kit, and a lot of canned foods and stuff. So in case if the power go out for a long time, they should have things to depend on till everything is restored.
Yeah, especially with flooding, clean water or potable water is a concern, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew, it's pouring for hours now since last night. Most of the residents here are indoors in their houses. What brings you out here in this kind of weather?
Today is Sunday. I mean, despite the bad inclement weather we are having, come to church to give praises to our Almighty God. I mean, rainstorm, doesn't really matter. What is most important is having a strong faith and conviction to serve the Almighty God.
Well, that's devotion right there. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Reporting from High Point, North Carolina for Eagle News, I am Eliza Gonzalez-Manglitmot, always one with 25.
Our correspondent got the story and landed the interview, all without getting knocked over by those strong winds. Thanks, Eliza. Wreaking havoc simultaneously with Florence is Typhoon MANGKHUT, destroying several cities in its path. Here's a look back at how it hit Saipan and Guam. Francesca Joy Moran reports.
Typhoon MANGKHUT started out in the Western Pacific as Tropical Depression 26 West on September 7 before becoming a typhoon 2 days later. On September 10, MANGKHUT arrived in the Mariana Islands as a Category 2 typhoon with winds of up to 110 miles an hour. The islands of Guam and Saipan bore the brunt of the storm, as seen in these videos. According to the Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs, some 63,000 Filipinos in Guam and Northern Mariana Islands were affected by the storm. Earlier today, Guam's Governor Eddie Calvo delivered a message of assurance to citizens throughout the island territory that relief from the federal government and other agencies are on its way.
And being governor, there is a weight of responsibility to ensure the safety of our people. And with your help in making sure that your family was prepared and safely in your homes, we were able to make it through the storm. I have been in contact with the White House regarding assistance for our displaced families and in hopefully getting some more help for Guam Memorial Hospital. My office will be sending additional information to them so that they can better understand our situation and hopefully pull down some of those roadblocks that hinder our progress.
Reporting from Coro, Palau, I'm Francisca Joy Miran for Eagle News. I am 1 with 25.
Just as calamitous storms are said to worsen because of climate change, a not-so-ordinary weather occurrence disrupts summer in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Thomas I. Likeness with the story.
According to the calendar, it's still summer. Fall isn't until September 22nd, but here I am brushing snow off my truck. Since the beginning of September, people in northern Alberta have been enduring below-average temperatures and rain mixed with snow. Temperatures have been hovering near the freezing point, and because of cloud cover, we don't see much sunshine. It's just plain miserable. Normally, temperatures in this part of the province would be in the low to mid-teens. Harvesting of crops has been delayed, and grain farmers worry if there's much more snow, crops will be damaged, which translates into less money for lower quality grain. But there may be cause for optimism. A couple of the signs of winter that have not yet been noticed: there are no flocks of migratory birds in the sky flying south to warmer climates. And the fur on rabbits turns white when winter is about to set in so they can better hide from predators. As you can see, this little guy is still wearing his summer colors. According to the Weather Network, it will be the last week of September before things return to normal. Despite the cool temperatures and snow, it's still better than many parts of the world where they're experiencing weather calamities. Enjoying the last few days of summer in Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. I'm 1 with 25.
Snow in summer? We told you we lived in interesting times. Thanks, Thomas. Up next, the Philippine Consulate General in New York and the Filipino Veterans Recognition and Education Project honor Filipino World War II veterans. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Because heroes should always be remembered, the Philippine Consulate General in New York and the Filipino Veterans Recognition and Education Project honor Filipino World War II veterans. Joanne Blanco Soriano reports.
I'm at the Philippine Center in New York City for the awarding ceremony of the Congressional Gold Medal for Filipino veterans of World War II.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Well, this event was to memorialize and also to award the Congressional Gold Medal to living World War II veterans and also their next of kin, the veterans that are the part of the 260,000 men and women who fought in the Philippines in defense of the United States in World War II. Following the war, Congress passed two laws called the Rescission Acts of 1946, which basically denied them, revoked the promise made to them by President Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, that they will get their benefits, and also revoked their U.S. nationality, meaning they were no longer U.S. citizens. But they were U.S. citizens during the war, because they were still colonized until May of 1946. So that law still exists today. But we wanted to get the recognition first for the veterans who were disenfranchised, who were discounted, and had lived in a lifetime of adversity for 75 years. Nobody waits that long for a country that asks them to go to war and then not recognize them for their wartime service.
I know it's been long overdue, and I think the U.S. should show their appreciation. It takes someone to be service-minded, first of all, to serve, to join the military, recognizing that, you know, you can be in harm's way, and whatever the military may need you to do, you know, you have to do. And there's a sacrifice not only that you may make, but if you have a family, there's a sacrifice that they make as well.
We also are talking to their progeny, to their relatives, to their families. And the great many of those family members are young people. And it is very important to us and to let them know too that you belong to families of heroes.
This is just one of the many ceremonies held to remember and honor the service of our veterans. Reporting from New York City, this is Joanne Blanco Soriano, 1 with 25.
Coming up, Sugar Rush 5K runners taste sweet victory. And Crankworks World Tour showcases extreme mountain biking skills. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return shortly. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. I'm Alan Basallaje. What could be sweeter than a glazed donut waiting for you to devour it at the finish line after running 5 kilometers? Eagle News correspondent Jay Rosquitas takes us to the sweetest race in Florida.
Runners gathered at Gadsden Park in Tampa to take part in a themed 5K run known as the Sugar Rush.
We have events located all across the country, and at every event location we have our local charity partners, and basically we just aim to help them raise funds, raise awareness for their cause. So here in Tampa, our partner is Kids Campaign Organization.
The event was sponsored by Superfly Running, a nationwide organization who aims to help local charities in their cause.
The Sugar Rush is just it's geared towards like casual runners, you know, people that want to get out and have fun and do something family oriented, do something outside, do something fitness oriented. And then the sugar is just kind of an incentive to get everybody out here.
The organization commonly launches themed runs in different locations around the nation. Here in Tampa, the theme was the Krispy Kreme Challenge.
Every single mile marker, 1, 2, and 3, there's a donut waiting for every runner and one at the finish. That's 4 donuts total.
Some runners came out as regulars, and some came out for the first time.
This is my first run ever.
It's my first run too, ever.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun and everybody's really supportive and
everyone's super sweet.
It's just something that's fun to do, and this isn't like a serious race to where everybody's competing and everybody's trying to win.
Some even came out dressed up to support the event.
It's a fun run, it's for a great cause, and we try to have fun and support and inspire other people to come and have fun along with us. And that's one reason why you see me dressed up.
The some 200 runners ended their morning with a victory at the finish line and medals placed around their neck.
I think that everyone should get involved, and if there's a cause involved, that you should do it, you know, just to support the community and to support whatever the cause is. Even if you're, there's some runs that you just do a donation, well, donate what's on your heart, to try to support all the charities and all the agencies that's out there putting on these events.
The goal is to create something mutually beneficial, right? So Superfly Running is a for-profit company. There's a sense of giving back, and we want to partner with people that are going to make a difference. So not only are we putting on our events, we want to make sure that they're for a cause and that they're going to end up helping people out. So I mean, it's extremely important.
And that's it for the Sugar Rush 5K. Crossing the finish line was definitely a sweet victory. I'm Jay Roskitas signing off from Tampa, Florida, and I'm always one with 25.
Thanks, Jay. I was going to sign up for that event until I found out that the K in 5K didn't stand for Krispy Kreme. Donuts. From a family-friendly physical activity, let's move on to a more intense sport, extreme mountain biking. Kathleen Cruz takes us to the steep slopes of Whistler, Canada for the last stop of this year's Crankworx World Tour.
Crankworx World Tour returns to Whistler, Canada for its 15th year of Crankworx competition, a jaw-dropping and extraordinary event showcasing extreme mountain biking.
Crankworx is a 10-day action-packed festival showcasing high-flying tricks, adrenaline-pumping spins, and unreal stunts in the world of mountain biking. This sport is no joke as it requires years of training and dedication. Whistler was the last leg of the 4 Crankworx Tour series, which made stops in New Zealand, Austria, and France. Every year, over 300,000 spectators and fans watch the world-class mountain bike competition. Elite-level riders and newcomers alike have come from different parts of the world to compete in different events such as speed and style, enduro, numerous downhill events, giant dual slalom, ultimate pump track challenge, whip-off world championships, Canadian Open cross country, and Red Bull Joyride. But Crankworx is not just about competition, as there are also kids who join different downhill events. But the biggest highlight of the festival, the race to be the king and queen of Crankworx World Tour. Dubbed as the most difficult competition in mountain biking, points are tabulated from 30 men and 22 women events in the 4 aforementioned countries to win the exclusive royal title and $20,000 in prize money. Samuel Blenkinsop of New Zealand was crowned as the king of Crankworx and also named as the downhill champion. For the women's division, big star and frontrunner Jill Kintner of USA was hailed as the queen of Crankworx.
Reporting from Whistler, Canada, for Eagle News, I am Kathleen Cruz. I am one with 25.
Thanks, Kathleen. Now, if you've never tried mountain biking, let me tell you, neither have I. But that shouldn't stop us from trying new things, so I'll see you at the top of the summit. That is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Join us again next week for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the world. Visit our websites at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I'm Alan Basallaje. I'm one with 25.